Hello everyone, welcome to English classes at Radhika Rinesh. Today we are going to learn about communication, the power of communication, that is verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Communication is a fundamental part of our lives, encompassing both verbal and non-verbal forms. The keys to effective communication and how to improve your skills are being discussed in this slide. Now let's listen to the differences between verbal communication and non-verbal communication. The first one is verbal communication. Verbal communication means communication through language. It may be spoken or written. And written communication is a sort of record. It is recorded. That is, we know that if we are writing a thing, it is recorded. It is recorded forever. And the spoken communication, if we are recording the spoken communication as voices in electronic medias, what will happen? It's also a kind of record now. Then the next thing is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication means a communication without language, that is through body language, facial expression and gestures, providing additional context and meaning to our words. These are examples, that is facial expressions, body language, gestures are examples for nonverbal communication. Now let us see types of nonverbal communication, and let's explore which are the nonverbal communications. The first one is facial expressions. As we all know, facial expressions are very vital and important in interpersonal communication. Smiles, frowns, and eyebrows raises can convey emotions and attitudes. While we are speaking, our eyebrows or our facial expressions are very important. Frowns means our teasing looks. Sometimes a person is speaking, the listener may have a frowny look in his face, and thereby the speaker can understand whether his message has been conveyed or not in a positive sense. So these are very important in the field of communication. The next one is body language. Posture, hand movements, and eye contact to communicate our confidence and engagement. The way in which you stand in front of a class or in front of your listener is very important, and the way in which you are putting your hands and eye contact while you are speaking, you are meant to look into the eyes of the listeners. They are very important in interpersonal communications. Tone of voice. The way we speak, including volume, pitch, and intonation, reflects our emotions and attitude. The way in which you are speaking is very important. If you are raising your voice, it means that you are angry. And the pitch, if you are stressing on a particular word, it means that you want to stress on that, you are giving much importance to that particular word. The personal space, the distance we maintain from others, conveys our comfort and boundaries. That is, the distance that we made from the listener while we are speaking is very important. And according to the distance of communication is also increasing. So the distance between the speakers or the persons who are communicating is very important in the field of communication or in the arena of communication. Whether the nonverbal communication is important? Yes, obviously it is very important. Conveying emotions, nonverbal cues, nonverbal expressions can express feelings accurately than words alone, fostering understanding and empathy. So communication, that is nonverbal communication, is as important as verbal communication. Building trust. Nonverbal signals such as maintaining contact and displaying open body language establish trust and rapport. The way in which you are holding your hand is very important while you are communicating a person, and it gives the confidence, some amount of confidence in the listener or in the other person whom you are communicating. And the eye contact is also very important. Maintaining eye contact is also very important. Enhancing relationships. Nonverbal communication helps create connections and deeper bonds with others. That is, if we are maintaining a good body language and good nonverbal elements, the bond between the person whom you are communicating will be increased. If you are maintaining a very good relationship or a good non-verbal cues or non-verbal expressions, the relationship will gradually grow. For example, if you are speaking with a very empathetic if you are speaking with a very empathetic feeling, and the listener is listening according to that, his or her facial expression or body language is according to that, what will happen? And you will feel that that person is very much interested in you, isn't it? That is, facial expressions and all other body languages are very important as the words and meanings by which we are communicating. Let's move to verbal communicational skills. How to improve your verbal communication skills? Clear and concise language. Avoid jargons and speak in a straightforward manner to ensure your message is easily understood. It's very important. While speaking, you should not use jargons or difficult words. It will cause some difficulties in the case of the listeners. Active listening. Pay attention, ask and respond to show genuine interest and understanding. And while you are listening, the listener should have to do a lot of things. The listener should be empathetic, and a certain amount of facial expressions should be, or the body language should be there in listener also. And the listener should have to ask and respond according to the speaker. Then only it is known as active listening. Empathy and sensitivity. Put yourself in the other person's shoes and use inclusive language to communication. And put yourself in the other person's shoes means, suppose or think that you are the person who is speaking, and what are the things expected by the speaker, and act accordingly. Then only a clear bond, a close bond or a strong bond is happening between these two people. How to master nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication can be sharpened with practice. Enhance your skills and convey your message effectively through visual displays and body language. Uh, that is, by increasing or by enhancing your non-verbal communicational skill, and you will become a very good communicator and a presenter. And you should be the true critic of yourself. At first, you should have to present a thing or talk in front of a mirror. Then you can identify which are the faults in your non-verbal communicational skills, and identify those faults, then correct it accordingly. Let's see which are the barriers to effective communication. Language barriers. Differences in language and dialect can hinder comprehension and exchange of ideas. That is, we know that language is the greatest barrier in communication. Physical barriers, that is, environmental factors such as noise, distance, all those are very much disturbing in the arena or in the area of communication. Cultural differences. Varied cultural norms and customs may lead to misunderstandings and misinterpretations. As we know that a word in different dialects are different in have different usages, so it will cause misunderstandings and misinterpretations. Emotional barriers. Strong emotions like fear, anger, or stress can disrupt communication. If we are very angry, we will speak angrily, and that will disturb the listeners. Let's conclude the presentation. Communication is multifaceted. We know that both the verbal and the non-verbal forms play crucial roles in expressing ourselves and understanding others. That is, both the non-verbal and the verbal communications are very much needed for making bonds with others. Practice makes perfect, and in order to improve your communicational skill, what are you expected to do? That is, you should have to communicate frequently. Break down barriers. Awareness, that is, we all discussed about barriers to communication. Avoid all those barriers in your communication and maintain a very good communicational skill with your friends or with your co-workers or whomsoever you may be attached. I think you have understood what is meant by verbal communication and non-verbal communication. And while you are listening to the video, please prepare notes for the class. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.